Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world. Welcome everybody to a very special edition to Is This Real podcast. Today, as always, I'm your host, Joe. I have Big Joe over there, Old Joe, Gray Joe, like I said last week. Again, it's whatever you want to call him. And this week, as you can hear in the background, we have the Tubby One from the Green Hour podcast as our special guest to talk about this topic this week. I know last week we turned around, 2 weeks ago we did have a little break. I know 2 weeks ago we turned around and said that we would have the JFK episode.
Yep.
But it's just not, for some reason it's not connecting. We tried 4 times to do this episode and it's not working out for us.
It'll get done. It's just not getting done right now. We have it's kind of like we're being cursed. And you get the podcast done, it's 3/4 of the way done, and then all of a sudden the lights go out, power fails.
Yeah, we thought the CIA or something was coming after us, so yeah, we were kind of messed up on that one. But but today we're doing Amityville Horror.
Well, we're gonna do the story of Amityville Horror. Amityville Horror is basically the book and the movie, and that's a bunch of shit.
Yeah, and of course we have Anthony with us. Say hello to the folks, Ant.
Hello, folks.
Yes, he sounds very enthused to be with us today. Thank you for joining us, Ant.
He's doing it on a remote, too.
Welcome. I enjoy this. I enjoy the Amityville story. I think it's a wonderful mystery, and I can't wait to jump in on this.
All right.
Thank you for the enthusiasm.
He's got all the enthusiasm of a Biden supporter.
Oh.
Easy, Lib, calm down.
Damn.
Again, not a liberal, but you don't listen to me.
Damn. All right.
Okay.
So, Dad, start us off with the Amityville Horror.
Okay. 1975, the Lutz family buys a house in the North Shore, Long Island, in Amityville. They bought it for, I think, $60,000. It was a Dutch colonial at the time. It was very underpriced, and they bought it basically because they had a growing family. You had George and Kathy Lutz. Kathy Lutz came into the marriage with 3 children. George came in with nothing. He came in with his own business, though, and it was a great place and a nice, quiet, bucolic little town where they were going to just, meld together, and they were going to have a little family, and they were going to do their thing. Unfortunately, what happened when they purchased this house, that just about a year or 2 earlier, Ronald DeFeo murdered his whole family.
Like, he fucking butchered them.
Well, yeah, he, murdered them in their sleep.
Yeah, he had a kill streak.
That's what happens when you take the last brownie.
I don't know, put a brownie, whatever. And Lutz soon after that experienced a lot of strange shit going on in our house. And excuse me, when I say strange shit, I don't mean, like, if you saw the movie, just take that completely out of your head. There was temperature fluctuations in the house. There was George seeing a large pig outside the window, windows slamming down on the kid's fingers, and basically they should have been broken. Take him to the hospital. Nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, shit more disturbing than seeing Anthony in his underwear.
Well, yeah,
that's pretty fucked up.
And flies at the wrong time of the year.
That's when Joey leaves on his underwear too long.
All right, guys, we can't. We're going to get this done. We got to get it done right. I mean,
we'll get it done right.
Okay. And these are like these are the strange shit that went on that time, and they only lasted in the house for I think 20 days, and then they just bailed. They left everything behind, left the furniture behind, the cars, boats, whatever, and they took off because they just didn't. They didn't want. They were done with it. They didn't want.
I mean, I would be too.
Well, so would I. But they didn't want any publicity. They didn't want anything. A guy, one of the guys, I can't remember the name of him. The man, he got the rights to the book, and he wrote a book, and that book.
You're the book guy.
Jay Hansen.
Yeah,
Jay Hansen. Yeah, and
go to Anthony. He's a book guy,
and he decided that he was going to write it, and took some liberties, and the next thing you know, you have the Amityville Horror,
and then the Amityville Horror 2000.
You got
2002,
right? 15 other movies, and then you get the prequel.
And now they made a movie that's coming out this year that has nothing to do with the story at all. And I don't mean like it's the Amityville, it's loosely connected, it's in the house. It's not even in the fucking house. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, that's
it's
a whole
name only.
Yeah, that's crazy. They take liberties with this shit. But the real story basically happens where this family, just minding their own business, buys this house. And they knew the house. They knew the history of the house when they bought it. And the questions I have now they brought in, a lot of luminaries to try to figure out what was going on. And they had a seance in the house. And they had the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine Warren, come in the house.
My favorite people.
Who actually agreed that there was something demonic going on in that house, and they just couldn't put their finger on it. And I think the most disturbing and creepiest part of this whole story is when they were in the house and down on the ground floor having their seance. There was a moose head up on the wall, and if you look closely on that moose head, the one antler looks like Father Padre Pio. Padre Pio was the patron saint of The Exorcist. So,
I have to see that photo. I've never actually seen that photo.
It's pretty creepy. It's along with the other video.
Boy, yeah.
The other video of that kid.
Well, the picture.
The picture of that kid just standing there when everybody was downstairs. There was no children in the house present at the time. Here's this guy. I've got goosebumps talking about it. Here's this guy just talking. A picture of a kid, with glasses on, staring out of an empty room. So, I tend to lean that there was something going on in that house. Exactly what, I don't know. Was it Indians? Was it Indian burial ground? I'm not sure.
Well, that's the original story. The original thing was that the house was built on an Indian burial ground, and not just a burial ground, but it was a burial ground where they buried like the fucked up Indians, like the outlaws and the people who were bad.
Okay.
That's like, it was like
here's where we get them
cemetery.
picketing the house now, because we just called the Indians fucked up.
And he's a liberal.
All I'm saying is it was a place where, like, they were buried without honor. They were buried facing down into the earth.
Right.
And that's where the house was originally built on, and then they moved it, like, twice now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. We used to be 110 Ocean Avenue. The last time they didn't move it, they just changed the actual number. They went from 110 to 112, as if that was going to make a big, fucking difference. It's fucking up the postman. That's about it.
Because ghosts care about.
Ghosts don't understand numbers.
Well, maybe they got higher end ghosts on Long Island. We don't know. But I tell you one thing. I could not have done what the Lutz has done, because it's only going to take one time for, you stare outside the window.
Oh, it's like the good old Eddie Murphy joke.
Yeah, I mean,
get out.
Somebody tells you to get out, you
get the fuck out.
You get out. It's not, I'm not going to stay around. That's peculiar. It's not.
But I have a question. How many has there been? Because of course they moved the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has there been any people that have owned the property that the original house sat on? Mm-hmm. Like, who owns that property today? I
don't know. I don't know as far as where the property goes from where the original house was. I just know that the people that have purchased the home from that time, it changed hands a bunch of times, and they all say that they didn't have. There's nothing going on there. That they had no,
mm-hmm.
Nobody
after the Lutzes.
Nobody. Nothing's gone on.
You're talking 40 years of nothing.
Right. So was it just the Lutz's
fucking weird
timing that did it? You know, I mean,
why would it happen to the DeFeo family also?
Well, that's another story.
Well, it didn't happen to the DeFeo.
Well,
they didn't.
According to Ronnie, he heard voices in the house, and you know, now that could also be he's trying to
plead insanity,
and and get away with it. Now I don't think too much into Ronnie DeFeo. The part that scares me about that is Ronnie DeFeo and George Lutz looked exactly alike. So if there was something that was terrorizing, if there was something that was terrorizing,
I apologize for that.
Ronnie DeFeo, maybe you mistook him for, George Lutz when George Lutz moved into the house. The guy could never get warm, no matter how big he built his fire. He never could get warm. He saw the pig outside the window. The woman, the Kathy Lutz, when she looked in the mirror the one night, saw herself as an old woman. And she jumped out of here and freaked out. The babysitter getting locked in the closet, which was part of the true story, and then when the Lutzes came home, they go, there was nothing wrong with the door. She should have came out, but she claimed
babysitter's getting locked in the closet.
Shut up, Anthony.
Porno moves like that now.
Shut up, Anthony.
Well, I don't know about that.
All right,
but I think these are questions that seem to over time that need to be answered, and I'd like to think if the Warrens have said that this has really happened, and and Lorraine Warren felt it. May God rest her soul. If she felt something, she was pretty good at that. She normally was right on the money, and she did once say that the Amityville house was as close to hell as she ever wants to get. So that's got us. That's pretty.
Well, you also know there's a lot of people that called both of them fake and shit like that.
Crazy.
You know what? They can call him fake all they want, and they still, like the one guy and his wife. They try to say that he was no good, and Ed was a fraud, and so Ed turned around and said, we use equipment, or the fraud guy said to him, we use all kinds of equipment. So he said Ed said to him, well, what do you use? He goes, well, I don't have to tell you. You know. So they were trying to discourage and trying to put Ed Warren down.
Throughout all that, though, you turn around and tell these people who, are always trying to disprove the Warren shit like that. But if you give them a key to that museum that Ed had.
Oh yeah.
And they wouldn't step foot into it.
It's all big bullshit. It's all talk. That's all.
I don't want to even be in the same county as that fucking thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to find out what they're gonna do with that too, because now that they're both gone, I know that nephew got it.
No, it went to their son-in-law.
Oh, the son-in-law. That's right.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna go to John Zaffis.
Yeah, John Zaffis. So he's the nephew. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they gave it to the son-in-law.
Wow. Well, I mean, did they not like the son-in-law or something? Because that's one thing I do not want to be willed.
No, that's a lot of money, though.
There's not enough money in the world to worry about.
You know how much this guy's gonna make a fucking museum out of it? It's either he's gonna sell all this shit to people like Zach Baggins, who will buy it.
Oh yeah.
Because Zach Baggins a nutcase.
And he'll put him in his room and put spotlights on him and shit.
That guy can start touching the doll and shit like that. Do something to me.
He'd put Annabelle in his bed.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, no, that's a little crazy, but getting back to the Amityville, I do believe there was something there. I do. I think for a family to just up and leave after 26 days, leaving all their possessions behind, all the money they just invested, and they just walked away. They just said, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Like I said, you're right though, but coming from I'll play devil's advocate with the excuse me.
That's the worst phrase to use for this episode.
Shut up. I'll play devil's advocate for the whatchamacallit? Yes, the skeptics. If nothing has happened in 40 years, it just seems weird.
But does that disprove what might have happened? I mean, you can, Joe, there's things in life where you can, something will go down, say a guy goes on a murder spree and he shoots 10 people, but then he doesn't do it for 50 years. Does that make the 10 people he shot 50 years earlier not dead?
No, but there's a difference with that because there's tangible proof that he shot those people in the head.
Well, there's no, I can see where you're coming from, but
there's no. As far as the two pictures, the one of the little boy being probably the most fluent photo of a ghost
in that house.
Right. Besides that, I mean, with the antlers, like I said, I've never seen the photo, but it could be something like, eyes playing tricks, whatever.
I got a book I can show you. It's
Matrixing.
Yeah, Matrixing.
Well, I got a book. It's called The Demonologist.
But anything else through that though, 40 years of nothing.
Still, I understand where you're coming from, but that to me doesn't make it that you got to disprove something that might have happened earlier. You got to ask yourself, why would they leave their entire life behind and move on and just go on? Did they think they were going to make money on it? They didn't make any money on the book. They barely made any money on that stupid movie. The best part of that movie was filmed in Tom's River. That's the best part of that movie. And they took way too many liberties. Shit happening with the toilets and black and shit like that. Yeah. The toilets did overflow in the Amityville in that house with George Lutz, and there was some kind of black ink-like substance, but it didn't ooze out of the walls and all that other bullshit. This is the thing, and I know they made it into this giant, big story.
Well, they had to Hollywood it up.
Yeah, that's just fucked up. I hate that. I can't stand that.
Well, you have to. You have to.
In order to sell a movie, yes.
In order to sell movies, and this is coming strictly from the production aspect of it, you have to emphasize or boost certain aspects of different movies.
Take liberties like that, though? I mean, isn't the story terrifying enough that,
No, the story can be quite boring.
Mm-hmm.
Especially to put it in a window of 2 hours.
It would be a very lame haunted house.
Okay.
It's like there's black shit's happening, and the toilet's overflowing, and that's creepy. And this guy can't get warm. That's the whole movie. Now, noises in the night and stuff would be definitely creepy, but nothing happens.
Right.
So they had to Hollywood it up.
Yeah, I see. Good.
Besides all of that stuff, what makes me most intrigued about the Amityville house is the fact that Ronald DeFeo killed 6 people and no one heard a gunshot blast.
Kind of creepy. You're right, absolutely. And it was to me,
that's the most creepiest thing.
Yeah. Well, he did it in the middle of the night, though.
Yeah, but this house is right next door.
6 gunshot blasts.
Joe, when you especially the gun that he used, I think it was a 30-06 he used. Those things are loud, and to Anthony's point too, even if nobody outside heard it, why were all the people in their beds when he shot them? You would think after the first gunshot, that's the way everybody else in the house would get up and go, "What the fuck was that?"
At least one of them would. And there was no sign that he put them back in bed. Like, right. There's been murderers that like, he killed one place and then they try to stage it like they were asleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the case here. There was no post-mortem fingerprints on the bodies.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. That's one of the most creepiest parts of this entire story, and that's not related to the Lutz family. That's just completely a different end of it. But then you gotta, what was going on in the DeFeo house? The father was abusive. Was there molestation going on? We don't know that. But it was
Ronnie was also a partier.
Yeah, I mean, he was an alcoholic. Well, not an alcoholic, but he liked to party. He liked his drugs. Did that attract anything that was on that property to begin with? That just looked for somebody weak that they could, fuck with and grab and manipulate it and possess it. And again, but
you could sit there and go, all right, we're gonna sit there and possess this guy to kill his family, and then turn around. Hold on, and then turn around and stay for the next family, terrorize them for 26 days, and then be like, okay, I'm out.
Good question. That's a good question. But the mere fact that nothing has happened since then, it can't negate. It can't negate a completely different story, because the DeFeo, like Anthony said, the best evidence of anything that went on in that house is the mere fact that 6 people were killed, nobody heard it. To me, that supersedes anything that the Lutz family encountered, because that right there, if that is the case, and all intentions are that was the thing, then yeah, there had to be something that stopped them from hearing this gunshot, hearing previous gunshots and getting out of bed, or somebody from hearing something outside. And I believe they happened at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think that's what I'm not sure. And that's the demonic witching hours, 3 in the morning. And they say that because they say that the demonic mocks the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Now again, this is all that after following the Warrens for so many years, you kind of you learn this stuff, and that's so. Again, going back to that, I believe that when this other family moved in, whoever was at work on Ronnie thought George was the same way, and tried to get George to doing the same thing. And he said at certain times he just didn't feel himself. He felt like, what's going on here? Well, he was out of body experiences or whatever you want to call it, but he had rage. He couldn't, like I said, he couldn't keep himself warm. When they lost the money at one time, that part of the story you saw in the movie was true. He lost, $1,500 in cash. And the demonic will do that. The demonic will hide shit from you just to fuck with you. That's part of the process.
That's some petty bullshit.
But
so you're saying it's not just like the good side of religion that needs money, the demons need it too?
Well, I don't. I guess they work in strange ways. I don't know. No, but I'll tell you one thing: sorcerers, and when there was sorcery, and I'm talking about Harry Potter type of shit. When these guys were actually practicing sorcery, what they would do is they would actually have people, or these demons would take stuff from somebody that they were picking on or whatever.
Go take a pile of hay from Jedediah and bring it over here.
Because the sorcerers didn't have any income, but they all were very rich. So you got to ask yourself, how did that happen?
Goddamn D&D bullshit.
Well, that's so.
You mean I could train a demon to rob a bank?
I don't think you're going to train a demon to do anything. I think
How to Train Your Demon Part 1.
I don't think that's.
Where's the wiki how for that?
I don't. You guys are. What you're doing now is, now this is the part that drives me crazy. You're taking. I know you're having light with this and having fun with it, but if you were the Lutz family, you wouldn't be having fun with it.
Oh no shit.
Oh no. I'm not making light of it. I think it's scary shit, and I think it's all fucked up. I deal with scary shit in a unique way. Okay. I make fun of it.
All right. Well, that's to me it's all symmetrical. Whatever was there preyed on Ronnie DeFeo. When Ronnie DeFeo and that family no longer was there, it preyed on the Lutz family because whoever it was thought that the Lutz family was part of Ronnie.
I get all that, but what pisses me off about the whole Amityville Horror thing, it's the same thing that pisses me off about the Manson murders, and now it's starting to become with the OJ shit. It's like whenever somebody needs ratings, here comes the DeFeo family, or here comes the Mansons, here comes OJ Simpson. Well, I'm tired of hearing that bullshit.
You can certainly.
Like, how much more coverage you gonna get on it?
Well, people are going to be interested in it. The Amityville Horror thing, it kind of died itself down a little bit. You're really not seeing a lot of that anymore, except like maybe on some History Channel special. But I get your point about the Manson family, because Charlie's the biggest rating TV ever had.
I feel that about fucking Amityville Horror or something, because I've seen it so many times, and especially like, okay, we need a horror movie, but people need to come see it. So what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Amityville Horror.
Go to the well.
Right, they take liberties with that story.
It pisses me off.
It actually takes away from the horror aspect of the story.
I have a question. The Lutzes,
right,
which were the second family, right?
Right, correct.
Do they get any money for anything that happens today with Amityville Horror?
Well, first of all, George just passed. George just passed last year. Kathy passed about 5 years ago.
None of the family, none of the kids get anything?
No, the only kid that you ever really hear from is the
son, right?
Yeah, the son. He still lives on Long Island. I can't remember his name. He didn't get along with George. Him and George fought all the time. And again, George wasn't his father, but George adopted him. That's how they got the last name. I don't know where Missy is these days. I'm not sure where the other brother is. I know there's 2 brothers and a girl, but I'm trying to think of his name. Anyway, he was one of the Lutz boys. He actually wrote a book and he did a movie. What it was like, telling everybody this is what was like in that house. But being real about it, not coming out and saying, "Oh, we heard, we saw this and we saw that" or whatever. He kind of really comes at it as his own perspective. He's not living it through his mom or through George, who he despised. He never liked George, and I wasn't in the house, so I don't know if George was a overbearing person or not. But they were divorced before they passed away, and they did have a mutual fan in Father Pecoraro. He was the priest, their family priest. And the
priest in the movie, is that supposed to be the same guy?
It's supposed to be the same guy, but it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
That was like a composite of Father Pecoraro, because Father Pecoraro came. He was the one that came to the house. He's the one that blessed it. He's the one that heard the demon or whatever tell him to get out. He was a good guy. He apparently he kept them in his prayers, and he kept tabs on wherever they went. I mean, they clearly moved right across the country. They left and moved to California.
Oh, wouldn't you?
I guess
I'd move out of the fucking country.
So if this is what drives me nuts. The movie, if you look at the movie, yeah, all right, it can be scary, whatever. But for them, no,
fuck you. If you turn around and you came home and you looked up in Anthony's window, besides seeing Anthony, which is terrifying enough, if you saw a fucking a pig's head with red eyes, you wouldn't shit yourself?
Yeah, it would be scary, and I'd be like, I'm not going in that house. But to put it mildly, these are things that wouldn't make you move clear across country. If you're leaving that house, something happened that they're not telling us.
I see a pig's head upstairs. I'm moving out of the country.
Well, if there's something that clearly made these people that frightened to leave everything behind and start fresh in another state, clear across the country, and even George said, and Danny Lutz, that's his name. They said there was things that never made it to the book. There was things that never made it to the movie, because nobody wanted to hear it. There was things that went on in that house that they'll take to their graves with them. And I got to believe that, because, just the stuff that you saw in the movie, and I read the book twice, and yeah, there was some really creepy shit in that book. But it's not enough to make me want to just say, I'm moving, that's it, I'm out, I'm done.
But didn't also they had a problem with Jay Anson's book?
Yes.
That he also took liberties.
Oh yeah.
And he of course screwed them out of a lot of money.
Yep.
And even they were like, you're going a little bit too far. It was fucked up, but it wasn't that bad.
Well, Jay Anson was basically, there's one part of the story where...
Did he ever go into the house himself, Jay Anson?
I don't know. I can't say yes or no. I would imagine at some point...
He would have to if he wrote a book about the fucking thing, right?
Well, he sat down with them, and they put a script together. They put a book together. But rumor had it that George wanted to make this into a movie. George flat out denies that. And so does Kathy. He says, no, we didn't want that. We didn't even want publicity. When Channel 5 got a hold of it, then Channel 5 is the one that brought them in for a seance. Okay, at the night of the house. And
they filmed that, didn't they? Or
yeah,
they tried to?
Yeah, the guy's name is John. John Scott, is that his name? He was the reporter. And he said that it was creepy in that house. There was a lot of crazy shit going on in that house. But not anything to make him say the table didn't move or anything. He said there was a creepy feel about it. And I guess, somebody tells you you're going to a haunted house, it's gonna be a creepy feel. But yeah, as far as Jay Anson's concerned, he did take liberties, and one part of that I could that I recall, the part where the priest was driving the car and the hood flew off. Now, in the book, the hood flies off one way. In the movie, it flies off another way. But that wasn't the true story. As Father Pecoraro had said, that didn't happen. Okay? And, George said it did. Pecoraro, who it has supposedly happened to, said it didn't. Who do you believe? I'm going to believe the priest. He was there. That's part of the stuff that Jay Anson had to say, make worse than it really was, and that pissed off the Lutz family. They didn't want this sensationalized, and they made no money on it at all. So that's what scares me. You guys bolted out of there, and they made no money. So I don't know. It just, to me, I believe it happened. I believe it happened exactly as the timeline says it happened. From the DeFeos to the Lutzes, and then figured, what, he got what he wanted. There was death. You get 6 deaths out of it. The guy's in jail for life. You terrorize the family. They leave the house, and I believe that was it. I don't know why. Is it 40-some years since the original story had happened? But it did. It did. Nothing happened. So.
Yeah. And even now, Ronald DeFeo Jr. has said that he's admitted to it all. He's like, yeah, it was all me. I killed my family, whatever.
Right.
But it still doesn't explain some of the creepier shit that's happened around that house.
No, not at all. And who knows what happened? See, no one really knows what happened in the DeFeo house. I mean, we know the story of Ronnie killing his family. We don't know what happened. We don't know what went on in that house.
If anything.
Well, we don't know because they're dead. And if there was something going on in that house, we'll never know. Because Ronnie's not going to tell you. Because right now it doesn't serve him any good.
Somebody brings him a paycheck, he'll tell. Can't
get a paycheck from it. You can't make money on a book. If you're in prison, you cannot make money on your crimes. That's a law they passed years ago. It's because people were killing 50 people, then writing a fucking book, and they were living high on hog in prison. Can't do it anymore. The money, whatever money you make, has to go to the victims. So whatever money Ronnie would have made, where's it going to go? It's going to go to his family's estate, and who's going to get it? So that's right. So that's we just don't know. So
you're telling me the DeFeo name is like kaput?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea if there's extended. I'm sure there's extended relatives out there, but they're gonna want to drag this up. You think they want any part of this? You got 6 loved ones dead, like in relative in jail.
Paycheck.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it was 50 years ago. I'm just saying, there's got to be some descendants of the DeFeos now who's just like, I didn't even meet great uncle, Ronnie.
Well, that's going to be...
I'll take that check.
That'll be your job, Anthony, to research it. And next time you're on with us, bring it back to us. Let us know if you found anything, because...
Shit, are there any young DeFeo women? I'll go marry into that family for that paycheck.
Here we go.
I'm just saying.
Always got to fucking go in the lower.
Well,
somehow you got to take the fucking podcast down a notch.
What do you mean down a notch?
No. There was a History Channel thing a couple of years ago just about the history of the house and different stories and stuff. And one of the things that struck me was weird was they had a couple of stories from inside the DeFeo house, and I was always wondering who the hell told them the stories. Like, allegedly, Ronnie pulled a gun on his father and it misfired twice, which is... the odds are astronomical for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another story where the father punched the mother down the stairs and when she was doing laundry. So I'm like, who told everyone this story?
Well, I mean, maybe Ronnie did in one of the jailhouse interviews, looking for a little clemency, maybe. I don't know. I can't say yes, I can't say no. But yeah, I get your point, Anthony. Whoa, They digging up corpses and trying to figure out what's going on there.
I mean, they got a fucking
the
seance.
demon.
I don't think the demon's worried about, making.
What a great movie title that is, though. Interview with a Demon.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
All right, that's your job, Joe. You can write it. I want a script on my desk by noon tomorrow.
First of all, I am the CEO of this bitch. I want a script on my desk by noon tomorrow because you're home doing nothing.
I am not writing anything. I tried writing 2 podcasts and I fucked them all up.
No, you tried writing a radio show, not a podcast. There's a difference.
Well, it is what it is. I'm sorry, I'm new to this. I've only got 7 episodes in, and
I have like 25 at this point.
and you still suck. But that's neither here nor there.
Oh, I
hey,
still
Anthony,
suck.
you ever notice something?
my.
Anthony, you ever notice something? This prick is on every podcast.
Yes, he is.
He's with Angry Uncle. He's with Uncle Chubby. He's with now Teresa's got one.
Teresa doesn't have one.
Oh no,
Teresa replaced this fat ass on Green Arrow.
I'm just waiting for.
I was not replaced. I was temporarily moved out.
He was reassigned.
I will be back at my post soon.
Does anybody know if like Zoe's gonna get her podcast? Maybe we'll get the birds up here and have Joe interview them.
Well, the birds can fucking talk and they want to come out and play with
birds
us.
don't do anything. They're too fucking stupid.
Like I said, Anthony bought them. Blame him.
I'll train them so they clip their fucking wings. Anyway, we're getting go.
Please, I'd like some food.
But yeah, so yeah. What do you think? What do you want to do next week?
I don't know. If anybody's going to listen to this one, then we'll see if it'll be in next week. We don't know that yet. I'd like to just I like to do this. Take real stories like that.
How about this? No, let's do it because we kind of figured this. Having Anthony on this podcast through this one thing is actually a step up. Let's have an interview with Angry Uncle next week.
Yeah, we can do that.
No, let's not do that.
Why? Angry Uncle's doing good. You got to give him credit. Here's a guy.
No, he's doing wonderful.
You got to give him credit because
I just don't want my name tied to it.
When you talk to him one-on-one, you think he's a political idiot. But, when he gets behind the microphone, he's a fucking whirlwind. The guy should work for Fox.
He's amazing.
He really is.
And you know what?
What?
People are going to vote for him. I guarantee. That's the problem. He's going to get like 8 followers, and then he's going to expect like a presidential ballot.
Well, he does right now. You talk to him, he starts every show, and I like to thank my fans. So.
Angry Uncle for president.
Yeah, I like to thank the fan.
I like to thank my fan. It's a wonderful thing. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of what he's doing. He's doing a great job, and I want him to. I want him to keep going and doing a job like that.
Yeah, so we do have
sure.
We do have 2 episodes of Green Arrow podcast coming out the next 2 weeks. I know like I said, we've been lax the last week or so. Just the shit got busy. So we do have vacation. We do have a couple episodes coming out. Another episode of Angry Uncle's coming out, and of course, brand new show. It's called Keeping It Real with Bubba. We have that show coming on the fuck you.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's Keeping It Real with Bubba.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Oh God.
It's gonna be on the Green Arrow podcast page.
What is he going to talk about?
Well, the first episode it's a little political, but after that we're gonna stick to sports. I told him that in our
political
production meeting.
I can only imagine.
Oh.
Hey, I'm Bubba. Fuck you.
Yeah. Basically.
Who's listening?
Joey, you're gonna break your finger hitting the bleep button.
Who's listening to me? You listening to me? Fuck you. You like Notre Dame football? No? Fuck you. I think you just hear it now.
But yeah.
Keeping it real with Bubba.
Anyway, this was a pretty good episode. I mean,
yeah, we have Anthony. We had Anthony. On
I
this
enjoyed that with you, Anthony. You got to do this again.
This was fun.
We want.
Like I said, he's so enthusiastic about everything. Yeah, he wants to do a porn episode. I told him no.
Who we gonna do the porn episode on? Yeah.
That could be you
I was gonna
too.
do like a sex toy review.
No.
That could be you.
How about we? You want to do? You want to do one like the golden age of porn?
That could be between you and Dad.
Yeah, I could do some research.
Research. You should know this shit. I'm your father.
That's true. I like doing this because I don't have to leave my couch and I can play my game.
Or yourself.
That too.
Please do not jerk off on my podcast.
Yeah. Well, this fucking whole episode just went in the shit.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this episode.
Good night, everybody. We'll
Israel.
see you in the week. Take care.
See you next week.
Toodaloo.
Bye.